good to see everybody here. Alrighty, I'm just getting the last minute details set. Yay. Oh, it's good to see everybody. I'm sorry it's a little dark today. I forgot to bring my stand in. So if the light above me is above me bright, I'm totally washed out and look yellow. You know what I mean? So I thought the lighting here was just a little bit better if I took it down a little bit. So I hope it's not too dark for anybody. So I'm sitting at my desk and I got my iPad to do this. If I could do it just on my computer, it would be great, but it won't work that way. So, so let me see what we got going on here. All right, we still up. Well, it looks like as if we got 2 minutes to go. All righty. Hi, Barbara and Robin, Mary. Good to see you, honey. Tracy, and Katrina is there. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. So how has the past 2 weeks been for everybody? I wasn't able to do Tarot Talk last Monday because of family obligations. Today is a little bit better, a little bit less hectic, and I kind of wanted to catch up. The last show we did was on the Urban Tarot. I don't know if anybody bought that, but I have that here. I haven't had a chance to really work with it in great depth because there's a lot of stuff. You know, I'm getting ready for the holiday season, and you kind of get it with having a brick and mortar store. It can be a bit much, but I hope that the week was good. It's kind of rainy and drizzly here. We didn't get the snow that everybody said we were going to get, so thank goodness. And you know, wanted to kind of catch up with everybody there. It's really awesome to see so many people already logging in. So we have a hello for Karen and Julie. Julie, congratulations. I'll let you announce that. But congratulations to you. It's nice to see so many wonderful faces. Even though I don't see faces here, it's good to see everybody here. So hopefully the week has been good for everybody. And Harry's on. We got that. We wanted to touch on, I'm happy that you're doing live videos. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm happy about it too. I think I do better when I speak to people like this. It might sound really, really strange, but I'm kind of a semi-introvert. And so sometimes when I'm around a lot of people, it can get you know, a bit overwhelming at times. But this doesn't seem to be a big deal for me. In other words, to handle things the way that I need to. And I think it would be really cool to, well, I'm actually going to throw this out. How would you feel if I started doing online classes with the tarot? I mean, I certainly do them here at the store, but people have been writing me, you know, IMing me personally after the show is done, and they're looking for classes. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that, because this show will always be free. I want this show to be open to everybody, and many readers and many clients are here, and I want that information to flow easily, and I would love to see more readers actually participate more here. All right, it's not just about me, it's about the tarot community or divination community overall. But how would you all feel about online tarot classes as well? Like, I could open up, well, I don't even need to do it within the group. I mean, it could be in the group, and then people have access to files, because I wrote a course many years ago and kind of thought that maybe I'd edit it and break it down into individual lessons and things like that. Hello, Anthony. No problem, Katrina. Hi, Danny. I haven't seen you in forever. And Otto and Robin, it's good to see so many people here. So how would you all feel about online classes? And the question to you, to help me and any other readers out there, is what would make the class better? In other words, Online classes have been available forever in almost every subject. What do you look for in a tarot class? And if you've taken a class, was it good or was it bad? If it was bad, I don't need to know who it is or what shop or anything. That's not what this forum is for. I'm looking for what is acceptable and maybe what is not acceptable in a class, so I could develop the class around your needs. So, hello, Gil. It's good. I just love seeing so many people here. So if you would give me that feedback, that would be a tremendous help to me. I really want it to be something special. You know what I mean? Maybe it could be done in a group forum and we just do the classes weekly. I could do Skype classes. Thanks, Barbara. Thing is, what would make a class a good class? And that's what I'm looking for. Alrighty. My approach is a little bit different than most. I'm pretty relaxed, and that might not work for everybody. Maybe somebody wants more discipline, because there's a lot to learn in regards to tarot, and there's a lot to learn about divination in general. And obviously, I'm not the only expert. I don't like using that term. There are others out there that do pendulums, which I'm not an expert on. There are others that use other forms of divination, like oracle and coffee grounds and tea leaves. So certainly in regards to this class, I would love to bring a teacher on, but obviously that teacher would need to be recompensed. So you get what is going on in my mind, and how would I make it work for all of you, or for those who'd be interested, and what would make it great. I've always had it's always a good idea of more learning. Yes, thanks, Mary. So I wanted to touch on that. Alrighty, so let that macerate in your brains out there for a bit, and if you would, I would totally appreciate either the feedback right here in the comments today, or in our tarot and divination forum, if you would write your opinions about what would make a good class a good class, and actually what would make a class suck. Because you know what? It would have to be a pay class. I have to do that. So I want to make it the best that I can be, more bang for the buck. Alrighty, if you get where I'm trying to say. So with that in mind, what would make a class good? What would make a class bad? I would love your feedback. And if you've had a bad experience with a teacher or a class, don't need to know their names. I just want to know why. And that would be great. Hi, Maria and Jermaine and Mir. It's good to see so many people. And Tracy. Would this be like a video class? Yeah, Tracy, I'm thinking about doing it on Skype or FaceTime. Anything. It could be many other forums. And then there would be the class uploaded, you get it. The materials would be uploaded. And then the following week or two, because it could be a little heady, it would be given to me, sent to me so that I can grade the class. And then we have our next video class. So we'll be going over the lessons, that sort of thing. That's kind of, oh, right, Maria mentions Zoom. Right, Julie. Okay, great. This is what I'm looking for. Alrighty, this is the type of stuff that I'm looking for. Mary, I actually have somebody who's here who does past life readings. So you see, if you look in the comments, it's Maria Bird, and Maria has done classes on past life regression here. She does meditation. She's a motivational speaker. So Maria Bird, meet Mary. Mary, meet Maria, and the two of you get together because there's none better than Maria when it comes to this. Alrighty. And thank you, Tracy. So I'm trying to come up with a plan to kind of make all of this work. Yep, you see Maria says, yay! Yep, great, so good. The two of you met, job well done. I'm patting myself on the back for that one. Alrighty. So, with that in mind, put all your info in there. Hi, Kevin. It's good to see so many. That is so cool. Yes. That's the whole idea. I like the idea of selecting from the sessions. Yes. Good. This is perfect for me. And then it'll give me some time. I already have it written, and I just need to edit, break it down, and it's going to be a lot of classes because we start with the Fool's Journey, the major arcanas, the minor arcana, then there's homework and suggestions like that. So I haven't figured out the pricing. I haven't figured out any of that sort of stuff yet. But it's a thought because I'd like to do more online so that I can reach more people, because I realize that it's kind of hard to get. Not everybody's from New York, and it's difficult. And to do classes one-on-one, which I do here in the store, is not for everybody. Not everybody can make things. And if you're in, I have clients in England. I have clients all over. So even the time difference is kind of hard. But at least there'll be a video to accompany the written material and see what we've got going on here. Alrighty. So now that I went on this little bit of a tangent, I wanted to talk about something that seemed to have been I'm looking at my phone. What was really, really popular in the past 2 weeks on the Tarot and Divination Forum. So the question was, do you use crystals, and why do you use them? So for any of you who are on the Divination Forum, I had over 55 comments. And then I got comments privately. So I wanted to touch a little bit on that because it was so successful and so busy in the forum that I thought it would be great. So Victoria, I don't know if you're out there yet. I know I'm not going to be able to get all of it. So we have Nelson. And forgive me, so it's Lija. Is it Leah? So I hope I'm doing that right. If not, please correct me. But Victoria, the question was, do you use crystals and why? And she writes, crystals are excellent energy tools. They assist in magnifying, refracting, deflecting, reflecting, and absorbing energies. Alrighty? Especially when particular combinations of crystals are used in a grid pattern. Now, I use crystal grid, so it's kind of neat to hear that. So then, all right, I use crystal grids to project different types of long distance and live energy Reiki sessions. The ultimate, however, is learning the art of ethereal crystals, where you take in the crystal's energies and are able to project those energies astrally as needed. So think about what that, so not only are we using crystals and their energies outside of ourselves, but Victoria talks about taking those energies within us and then projecting that out. So how do you think that might be accomplished? The thing that I thought of is a concept called Reiki hands, and I'm sure any Reiki masters understand what I'm talking about. Because I'm a Reiki master, Reiki comes from the source through your energy centers, your chakras. It comes out through our hands into the clients that I'm working with. So with that in mind, a lot of people who are tuned to Reiki have what is called Reiki hands, and that means that the energy heats up in your hands. Almost, sometimes all you have to do is think about it. I've been doing this for a long time, so all I have to do is think about it, and my hands start to tingle and warm up. So the way Victoria was explaining it, I think of taking in the energies of those crystals. Now, Victoria, I don't know if you're on. Hi, Michelle. I don't want to paraphrase. I don't want to speak for Victoria. She may have a different way of looking at this, but I think of maybe holding the crystals, so putting them on my body, and then feeling the energy pulse from my hands and out, either into a client or for whatever need or use. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. That's, again, Victoria's not here. Actually, Victoria, I would love it if you're on I would love to add you to the call if possible. But that's my way of looking at this. So, oh, look at that. Now my phone just dropped. Let me get back into the forum. So that is of course I lost there we go, crystals, and why do we use them? So that is the way I kind of take Victoria's information. How do you feel about that? So I guess I never thought about it in general as projection outwards unless I was using a crystal grid. But is there another way to project that energy out? So I'm going to leave that question up to you because it makes sense to me. Alrighty. So hi Jean, it's good to see you, sweetheart. And my cousin Michael is on. It's good to see you, Michael. So in working with that energy, now I know that I can feel energy when I touch people, especially others that are used to working in this field, in what we do, this type of spirituality, and I feel that energy. But to use crystals, how would you think about that? And we have John on. So that was Victoria's. Now, Lady Rhea writes, can a sacred geometry crystal set be used for Reiki meditation work? You know, Jermaine, I don't see why not. In fact, I would think that would work very, very well. So give that a try. Jermaine, if you do that, fill us in next week's class or post it in the divination forum, because that would really be nice. That's the information I'd love to see shared, because personal gnosis is everything to me. So think about that. Give it a try. I don't see why it would not work. Just to give you an idea, I have a Reiki set here at the store, and it's leaded crystal. And the Reiki spheres, they're all in different colors, the colors of the chakras, are on this plate that is crystal. And it is sacred geometry because it's the flower of life, which is sacred geometry. So that would kind of work. And Mary writes, yes, tapping into the inner realms of magic. Currently using labradorite, yes. Certain rings of stones for of specific fingers. That would make sense. And Julie writes that she uses visualizations to project energy. Though actually I discovered after having to explain to another how I project. Okay. How to project energy. Okay. That makes a lot of sense here. So let's move on to the next thing here. So Rhea, hello Lady Rhea, if you're on. For every purpose in life, healing, magic, attraction, protection, grounding, deflective energy, and learning. So she uses crystals for all of those things too. Using crystals when I'm doing readings is very, very helpful. Sometimes, and we've discussed this in the past, I wear certain crystals. They are never off of me. And then if somebody asks me to also add in a crystal reading, I will do that. And I'll take a whole bunch of different crystals, throw them in a bag, shake them up, and I'll have the person pull the crystals out. And then I read the meanings of those crystals and then combine that with my tarot or Lenormand. Mary writes, psychic filters, gifts for goddess. Yeah. Hi, Kevin. It's good to see you. And Jen. And another John. We have lots of Johns here. So that, I'm loving how everybody's writing this out. So here is another one. Shireen, I don't know if you're on, but I absolutely love your response here. I use certain crystals when I'm feeling down to help me uplift my spirit. And other crystals I use for help, like rose quartz, to help promote self-love from within me. Now, to me, that makes a lot of sense. Rose quartz is associated with confidence, self-help. It's the heart chakra. Anything pink or green would work with that. So that works fantastic. You know. Now, Shireen, I don't know if you're out there, but do you also use crystals in tandem with your readings? Maria writes, I use crystals for protection, drawing energy, healing, and scrying. Yes. So, Maria, please, actually, Maria, you around? Can you want to come on the show? Because that would be awesome if you wanted to join us. Are you available? Let me see, Maria. Let's see if I can get you. Maria, try to, let me see here. Because I don't have my keyboard going here. So if you would send me a request, I could add you to the call, because I think it would be great, because you have a wonderful way of working with your energies and stuff like that. Okay, not yet. Alrighty. So that is some of the ways of working with that. So if somebody came to me and they were having an issue with self-love or confidence, I would suggest working with a rose quartz. And believe it or not, I happen to love selenite. So selenite is one of my go-tos as well. Alrighty. So now we have Christy. So Christy Bowers, I'm just looking at here. If this is Barbara. If using crystals in tangent with tarot, would you select a group of crystals based on their properties to assist? Let me see more. To assist. Okay, so Barbara, when I do it, it's almost like what is called charmed readings or junk readings, which Jean had discussed a while ago. No, I don't. I have a bag of crystals. I just take a tarot bag and I throw a bunch of crystals in there, just as Spirit tells me to do. I shake them up and I have the people pull either the crystals out themselves, or I will pour them out and then see what we've got going on here. So if, like what Shireen was talking about, if she pulled out a rose quartz, I would know that self-confidence is what was needed. If she pulled, I'm just throwing anything out, if maybe pyrite was pulled. With pyrite, I associate pyrite with monies and grounding and success. That's just my opinion. That's how I work with that. My honey is watching. Hi, April. And so Julie Elizabeth. So Julie, is carnelian one of your go-tos in regards to all of this? Look at all those hearts. Okay, he's being silly now. Okay, my man's being silly there. So is carnelian your go-to? Because my go-tos are labradorite, black tourmaline, which I absolutely love. Oh, he keeps doing the love things here. He's my other half is being silly here. So anyway, my go-tos are labradorite, black tourmaline, and selenite, and clear quartz. Those are some of my go-tos. All right. So let me still talking about crystals, and I love her response here too. I use them on my chakras when I'm lying down and doing self-reiki and or listening to Hertz vibrations. All right, and Hertz vibrations are sounds that you use to take you to different places. Different vibrations affect the brain in different ways. Binaural, there's binaural beats. I'm trying to think of the official names of them. Maria, you may know this more than me, the names. This is going to drive me nuts. But I think it's called binaural beats and or rhythms. And you hear a certain sound that affects your brain in a certain way. Some sounds will excite you. Some sounds will sedate you, calm you down, that sort of thing. So I use fairly large pieces, cover almost my whole palm, and I take great care when choosing which crystals to buy. I feel for the tingle, aka also known as the vibration. I have found little pieces often sold in large numbers have almost no vibration or none at all. How do you feel about that? Does the size of the crystal matter? Does a little piece affect you differently than maybe something fairly large? Good question. I feared the no vibrations ones. The no vibration ones are probably either fake or too small for a strong vibration to be felt. I do, however, carry the small ones in my pocket if I need a constant reminder of their healing properties. I also charge them when taking an Epsom salt bath. I highly recommend doing Reiki in an Epsom salt bath. It gives you that extra kick. So, hi Sherry and Michelle. So, a lot of great information here. Tons. Does size matter? I was told. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just gave everybody the face here. Anyway, how do you feel in regards... there we go. So then I was right. Okay, I have used binaural beats to help with cleansing and with the law of attraction. Fantastic. So that is another technique, by the way, people. So to even go into it a little bit more, we talked about what notes affect the brain and how they can excite you, how they can sedate you. Have you ever noticed that certain songs on the radio will calm you down or excite you? Think about that. There are certain minor notes, right? So I'm a bass player, so I'm trying to study music theory just a little bit. Certain notes, if they're minor notes, and we're talking about minor notes like deeper sounds. Now, I listen to some crazy music, but darker sounds like Manson will use notes like that. And as soon as I hear that type of note, it gets me into kind of a modality. I wish I could explain it better. I'm having a hard time verbalizing because I know how I feel, but it's hard to verbalize. Or songs like, and I'm actually going to, because I'm a Beatle nut, so I'm going to use songs like this. I'm Only Sleeping. Almost anything off the Abbey Road. They have a lot of those darker notes that's in there. But I'm Only Sleeping is one of those songs. Or I Am the Walrus. So if you ever really pay attention to it, they have minor notes that are used and affect the brain in a certain way. It's science, actually. So think about sharp notes, high notes affect the brain differently. So certain songs will almost get you into that modality. You know, it's almost like when you smell sage, you're already in that mindset. So certain songs will do that. So pay attention to the songs that do that to you. All of a sudden you feel a vibration, or all of a sudden it's like, oh, what's going on here? And you get into that mindset. Usually you'll find that that's a minor note or a deeper note. Operas like that, a lot of Gothic music goes into that. So pay attention. C minor for sure. That's right, Mary. That is really, really... Tommy, seriously. It's a trigger. I agree, Mary. So Barbara writes E minors, A7, D. I agree. Singing bowls also. Hi, Linda. It's good to see you. Very good. When it comes to singing bowls, it'll also do that. I just wonder sometimes, like with singing bowls, because it's a higher note, but it might be the way it vibrates. I have a large singing bowl here. It's a really a lovely piece here. I'm going to try and experiment with that a little bit. Alrighty. So now, what do you do when you have a brain like mine, and I'm ADHD and my brain never shuts down? So working with binaural will sometimes work, but I have to have something that diverts my brain from the voices in my head. And I know that sounds crazy, but it'll be like, did I pay that bill? Did I forget that? Oh, did I say the right thing? It clicks in almost as soon as I lay my head down. So I have to have some sort of music that will divert my energy. And it's going to sound crazy, but if it's like music, Enya, and soft songs like that, it won't work for me. It has to be something a bit more aggressive to divert my energy. So again, I'm ADHD, so it may work a little bit different for me, but not like that for everybody else. I have tuning forks that will get you into the beta, alpha, theta, and delta stages. I sometimes use it to get clients into trance. That is fantastic. Hi, Christina, and Chris Lopez is on. That's a great idea. So you know what, Maria? So like tuning forks will be somewhat like singing bowls. If you have a whole series of tuning of singing bowls in those notes, so that makes prog rock. Now you know something, Barbara, that would make sense. Now I'm not a progressive rock fan, though we do share some similarities in there, but a band like the Electric Light Orchestra, which kind of skirts that, goes into the operatic, yeah, you got it, or like Blue Oyster Cult. I can't talk today. So those are some bands that I would feel, but Barbara, you would know more because that's your geek, which you love so much, and your man too. So let's go on to the next thing. I use them, this is by Lyra. So Lyra, if you're on there, it's awesome. I use them on my altar to attract and concentrate / focus on certain types of energies. I also wear them for energetic manifestations. In other words, or an example would be smoky quartz for grounding, rose quartz for heart centering, etc. All right, and this is from Lyra. I use them for protection. I use them for charging other. Okay, so Quinn Blackburn, meditation, massage, trigger point therapy, memory retrieval, shadow work, to aid in maintaining empathetic boundaries when in public. You ever take on too much stuff from strangers when you're walking down the street? Yep. To ease anxiety, cleanse auric field, ward away negativity, dream work, seeking advice, to boost energy while crafting. That's a lot. So crystals really, really help an awful lot of people, doesn't it? That's why I wanted to talk about this. Excellent. Okay, so we talked about prog rock in the same way. Binaurals have helped so much with meditation. Oh, hello, Anthony. And David is on. So I think a lot of people, the discussion about music is going to be pretty awesome here. So, Mary, I wear them over the chakras. I use them in magic all the time. I adorn the altars with them. Many uses. Herkimer diamonds and labradorite seems to be her current faves. I like to combine rune symbols on the stones, mojo bags, etc., putting them in my garden. Wow. When I did that, I got a ton of butterflies. So a lot of people will also use their crystals and put them in the garden. So that's another aspect. I use, Mary worked a lot with the Fae and a lot with the deity. So having your crystals in the garden to attract the Fae is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. I know a lot of people that come here and do that, lay down grids, not just in their homes, but in their front gardens or in their back gardens, or like in shadow boxes, like in dioramas, and they put them in the boxes, and then they'll put them on their porches, etc. I have crystals in many of my flower flower pots. I do container gardening, so having little bits of crystals in them, I believe, helps charge the plants that are coming up. So that's another way. But do you use them for divination? Am I the only one here that uses crystals for divination? I'd like to find out more. Now, a lot of pendulums are made of crystals too. So for any of you that use pendulums, do you use a particular stone, or do you have many pendulums that have many different types of properties? So for me, I use the pendulum. I don't necessarily, that's not my number one thing. Maria writes, yes. I love you too, Tommy. Do you use a particular pendulum with a particular stone when you're doing your readings? And do you use that professionally, or is it just for reading for oneself? I'd love to. All right, so Sherry, that's great. So if you use them for divination, is it the same way that I do it? You know, you just put them in a bag, shake them out, and then see what you've got? Or do you have a different way of doing it? All right. I use a labradorite pendulum, and it hums for me, and that's coming from Barbara. That's awesome. Julie writes, I have a pendulum that I can change the stone. So Julie, if you change the stone, why? I'm putting you on the spot here. That she got from my shop. Yes, you did. But why would you change the stone? Is it just because Spirit just said, hey, I'm going to change things up? My mother-in-law, Helen, is very interested in your discussion. Say hi to Helen like she's discussing. So hi, Helen. Nice to meet you here. I love it. I got family all around, and now that circle's even expanded a little bit more. So hi, Helen. It's nice to meet you. So tell me why you would change the stone. So Julie, I'm putting you on the spot here. Alrighty. Why would you need to change the stone? All right. Is it for a particular reason? Are you doing any sort of working with it? I'd love to know. You're welcome, Michael. I use it for Reiki. Alrighty. Now, Sherry writes, I put them in a grid to create a vibration, then meditate with the crystal to see the messages being sent or see possible future events. So Sherry, you're kind of using it like scrying, right? I hope I'm looking at that right. Chakra balancing. Yes, and actually we'll talk a little bit about that. Hi, Mike. It's good. Mike is a wonderful, he reads the runes and a wonderful reader. So if anybody is interested in having their reading done by Mike, you can contact him here or even contact me here at the store. But he uses runes and he has read a few times here at the store, and I would highly recommend that. So give it a try. Michael writes later. Maria writes psychometry and scrying. So a lot of different uses. Again, you know, the pendulums that I have are clear quartz that I have. And I use it for myself because sometimes it's hard to read for myself. Scrying obsidian is cool, yes. When you get a good piece of obsidian, it's nice and clear. I think I have a couple of pieces here. You could really scry into it. And actually, Renee, I didn't see your name, but Renee, if you're on, Renee has made beautiful scrying mirrors. Now, she doesn't make them out of crystal, unless I'm wrong. Maria, you would know since that's your bestie. But I have two of Renee's scrying mirrors, and she goes through a whole ritual to get her mirrors up and running. And I think I have 2 or 3 of them here for sale. But she puts her heart and soul in their glass that she paints black, and then there's a whole ritual done on them to make them, and she puts them in these antique boxes that are just stunning. So if you're looking for that, I would also contact Renee Demoiselle, who is also an author. That's great. All of the talent here. Mike Hicks does runes, and you can contact him here or in our Breed's Closet Tarot and Divination Forum. You can book a reading with him. There's a lot of good things, a lot of good talent that we have here. Hello, Angela. And onyx is great. I do agree. Scrying was one of the most potent forms of scrying when using crystals. And hi, Louie. It's good to see you here. Yeah, I agree, Sherry. You know, Sherry, maybe one day we'll do a session together. That would be kind of nice to see what information comes out from that. That would be dangerous, huh? You think? But I thought the whole discussion of crystals in regards to divination was awesome because people really, really jumped in there. So that obviously means that people want to learn more about crystals. So there is another thing that you guys have blessed me with. It's more information that we need to, Sherry writes, very dangerous. It could be. Mary, that is really cool. So it's scrying, but it's also a mediumship that you're doing with your spheres, right? I don't want to speak for you, but medium, I've not had success working with scrying as far as mediumship is concerned. When I do mediumship, I have to tune my mind off. Like I'll actually be working with somebody and I'm doing their tarot, and then all of a sudden something pops up into my head and I get this blank look. Everybody laughs at me because they think like I'm ignoring them, and I'm not. I get like this blank look and I have to look away and not look at the person that I'm working with. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to, all of a sudden something just popped into my head. You get where I'm coming from. So I've not used scrying as far as mediumship is, but I'll kind of glance and trance out, and then something comes up to me. Oh, all great ideas for your online classes here. Guest speakers. Yeah, and I want to do that. So if I get a guest speaker, I just, hi Dave, good to see you. If we get guest speakers, I just have to make sure they're recompensed. So I have to figure out the finances. I would assume that if I could do this, I would do it through PayPal and take it from there. Because, I mean, obviously we could do classes in crystals, we could do classes in tarot, and classes in Wicca. Hi, Shireen. We used one of your questions earlier, just to kind of let you know. So I'm kind of giving you a heads up. So keep that feedback coming. We're doing real well today, so I'm really happy. A lot of good information. So let me just look at my notes here. Okay, so number one, Mary, I want to, number one, thank you for all of those antique books that you're posting in the forum, because it piqued my interest. When I moved from my old home to Cornwall permanently, I actually lost a lot of my old books. I had a whole bunch of books on high magic, Henry Agrippa. I mean, a whole bunch of great stuff, because I'm a little bit of an egghead, you know what I mean? And I lost a lot of those books. So you posting those links to old decks and old books is really pleasing to me. So I'm doing some research, and maybe I can get some of those old books back, you know, so I'm working on it. So that really is, made me feel very happy about it. So Iris Guinevere. So I'm going to read her question. It was a very long question, and I would love the feedback from all of you. And I'm going to put you all on the spot, because if you post your thoughts, it helps us all learn. Alrighty, so that's important. So the question that that Iris would like, and Iris Guinevere, the question she posts: would you recommend giving your own child a reading? My son asked me a few times. I find that I'm way too attached emotionally, and it may affect the reading. I guess the same question applies to anybody you're extremely close to. However, I have read my husband, and things seemed fine. Children, on the other hand, are so super close to you, it seems different. I don't know, but I'd like to hear what other people think about it. How about that for a question? So how about reading for your children? What are your suggestions? Okay. Now, I've read many a time for my children. It's going to be funny. Well, probably shouldn't say funny. My son, my middle son, the one who passed away, considered himself, an intellectual, and he was. And he didn't necessarily believe in a lot of this. But, believe it or not, I would read for him. And he would say, well, it's purely psychological, so he's going to get, whatever out of it, and I would read for him. And I've read for all three of my children. I would say that it was pretty successful, but what I will say is that they were older. So Iris, if you're there, that's my experience. Reading for very young ones, I've done it, but in a professional sense, I've only read young ones with their parents there. So obviously there was information that I couldn't give a child because it might even seem scary, but what I've done is then talk to the parents on their own and give the parents the information. And if they so chose to share it with their children, that would then be their privilege to do so. Alrighty, so you get how I did that? Because not all children are prepared to hear the information or even understand all of that. Hi, Christy. So what do you think? If you feel incapable of being impartial or truthful, this is from Sherry, because of the connection, ask someone you trust. That's excellent. I have read a lot from my kids, but it seems as I shouldn't, and I've asked Bernadette to do so. Yes, and I've done that. A lot of times, and anybody who's a mother or a father or anybody who takes care of children, you know that kids a lot of times don't listen to their parents. They poo-poo it away, but then you know, using psychology, you give the information to someone else and it's delivered, and then, you know, it'll work. But it's just the human psyche. You know what young ones are like. So that is a good example. So I'm not going to say yay or nay that you should read for children or shouldn't read for children. I've read on my children myself to see how things are going there. But even then, that could be very hard because, you know, if it's an emotional issue that your children are going through, then you kind of insert your emotions just because of the pure love that you have for your child. I've read from my twin nephews. This is from Shireen, and who were 3 at the time, in the presence of my sister. I just explained the reading, let me just, to my nephews in a kid's point of view so that they would understand. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, I'm just looking at you. So Maria Bird is writing about Renee's beautiful mirrors. She makes them out of concave glass. She uses special paint and a drying method so the paint doesn't bubble before she makes them into mirrors. She goes into trance and meets the spirit guides of her clients. It's just wonderful. I highly recommend Renee's mirrors. So some people, so far I don't hear anybody saying no to reading children. So is it a consensus that it's you feel comfortable reading for children or not? Now, I've not read on anybody, Shireen, I've not read on anybody that young. Alrighty, and I've been asked to, but I have said that I wasn't comfortable reading for a child that young. And it might be due to a couple of things, and what I mean by that is, have you ever read for a client who wasn't all about it, like they were just testing you, or the energy wasn't right, and so it didn't click or it didn't work? That's the example I'm trying to give that. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. So as an adult, I'll tell somebody, listen, you're testing me and it's not going to work because it's your energy too, and I'm reading the energy off of you in order to give you the reading that you're asking me to do. If you're gonna block that, I'm just gonna tell you what the cards say, and you can either like it or not, but it's your $50 or your $100. You can decide. Children are pretty much open books, but also they have a hard time sitting and concentrating. How do you make a child concentrate on a reading? So I don't know yet. So Shireen, if it worked for you, that's great. I've not read on anybody that young. So hello, Lorna. It's nice to see so many people still logging in. It's great. So you get my idea on that. So I would love more feedback. How do you feel about reading for young children? Can a parent read for their child? Is that possible, especially when they're very young? Any of you out there, please post that. All right, so let me look at the rest of my notes here. We talked about the online class. Okay, so let's, we have Lorna. I'm not looking at everybody that's there. So let's talk about doing some readings here. Alrighty. Usually we end with like a 1-card reading, but sometimes I feel like it's not enough time given to a particular reading and all that, and I kind of don't want to cheapen this up because I like to spend some time doing this. So I figured while we have like 12 minutes. So alright, so Sherry writes, I don't read for, well, hold on a second. Sherry writes, I'm not comfortable reading for a kid unless they have a fundamental idea in what they're participating. I got it. That makes sense. And Maria writes, I don't read for my kids because I'm too close to them. Right. Alrighty. So I'm getting a lot of feedback. And again, this could continue later on. So I'm taking out my Lenormand cards. Alrighty. And now we are in retrograde, and I did post a question as to whether or not do you do divination during retrograde. Almost everybody said yes. And I'm actually very happy to see that. I'm trying not to put my own bias. Obviously, I read professionally, so I did 2 readings today. But I I do readings in retrograde from myself as well, and it has a lot to do with the things that I want to finish, the things that I want to continue with. Sometimes I get a little loopy, you get too involved. Hi, Cos Mike, it's good to see you, Mike. And it helps me focus on a lot of things. Like, for instance, I'm kind of doing things here at the store, new ideas. The holiday season is coming up. My other half and I and friends are helping renovate this tiny little cottage that we live in. So that's going on a lot. And, family things, family constraints, things like that. A lot of good, things are going on. And I still like to use readings to help me with thoughts and ideas that need a little straightening out once in a while. So I am going to do a 3-card reading, and I'm going to use my Lenormand card, and I'm going to use this, as we've often done, as advice for the following week to come. Alrighty. If you are out there and you have your form of divination in front of you, I would love it if you also chimed in and either comment about my reading, because obviously it's general, you know what I mean? It's almost like opening up a magazine and looking at your horoscope for the day, alrighty? So it's going to be kind of the same thing, alrighty? But you also may have a different take. If you would throw down, some cards, or throw down your runes and tell me what you find, and then we can also continue this discussion when the show is over. Alrighty, so I'm throwing down 3 cards here. I am using the Under the Roses. I'm using my desk over here. And the first card I picked up is the Rider. The next card I picked up is the Sun. And the next card I picked up is the Fox. Okay, so let me just bring this back up. And I just want to make sure everything is going. Okay, so the first card, using again the Under the Roses Lenormand. I hope you can see that. I know that there's glare. So this is the Rider. All right, note the number 1. All righty. Hi, Michelle. It's good to see you, and Mara. So the first card I have here is the Rider. So to me, The Rider is all about good things, good news coming, perhaps the start of something new. It's the first card in the deck, so it kind of reminds me of the Fool in tarot in a way. Not exactly, but you get what I mean. So good news coming in a short amount of time, good things happening, and remember, it's for the week, so it's from today until next Monday. So we got that. The next card that I got is the Sun. All right, so again, I hope there's not too much glare there. So to me, the Sun, maybe it's something during the day. I'm I like to poke the envelope a little bit, you know, poke the bear a little bit. Illumination, things that will be shown to me. Good news, things that will be shown to me, or illumination. All right, everybody got that? Now, here's something. We have the Fox. So, good news coming to me, and good news, not just me, all right? I'm kind of, like I said, it's like opening up the newspaper and reading your horoscope. So how does it apply to you? And then we have the Fox, all righty? And the Fox is not always the most trustworthy. So it's telling me that this will be shown. Hi, Jody. I had seen good news coming, and then illumination, but then a Fox. So why would the Fox come up? What's your take on that, everybody? Because that means I kind of look at it as with that good news, I should be careful about what people do with that. Like somebody not liking good news, somebody not happy with something coming my way, or am I being presented with something that I think is good and it's not? Pull another card. Okay, Sherry's asking me to pull another card. I suppose we're going to be talking about a clarifying card, Sherry. So I'm going to pull another card. And, oh, I got the Lady. So I guess it is more personal, isn't it? So I have to be careful about the news. Any good news coming my way, I have to be careful. So keep it to myself because not everybody likes everything that's coming your way. Alrighty, so not unusual when it comes to retrograde too. So whatever that information is, I keep it quiet. I read 3-card draws as past workings, past, present, and I got it, and future card, got it. So, hi Robert. So you get how that works. So right off the bat, I think good news is coming my way, but keep it quiet and work with that energy. Hey, I didn't miss it. I was on a phone call. Oh, that's okay, Julie. So you kind of get where, you know, how I'm processing that information. How would you look at it? Did anybody else draw a card? Come on, can't be just me just doing the reading here, okay? We still have a few minutes. Tell me what you all got for the week to come, even if it's just a 1 card. Oh, I know who that lady is. Thanks, Shay. So how does that apply to you? I'd like you all to post to read it. There's a bunch of readers here, and I don't see anybody to. Jealousy in a pretty package. Thank you, Mary. Actually, that's pretty relevant. So I thank you for that one. Alrighty, yes. All right. So now Christina pulls 7 of Wands, 4 of Wands, and 4 of Swords. So Christina, what's your take on that? How are you putting that story together, and what's the information on that? So for me, I look at Wands as an air element. I don't look at it as fire like some people do. Either right or you're not. Or I should say either you're right or not. There are a lot of people in the tarot community that will switch elements there. So to me, I look at Wands as a element of air, creativity, thought, art, that sort of thing. Go figure. I'm a Libra, so I'm an Earth. I'm an air element anyway. So creativity is always on my mind. What can I do next? that sort of thing. So the fox is an animal that doesn't need to hear or see what is coming, but can tell when spirit is present. Mara, this is wonderful. In other uses senses. Oh, I get it. Oh yeah, Julie, we did a reading. Alrighty. So everybody's doing reading. So if you have your cards in front of you, Julie, do that. We're reading from this Monday to next Monday. What's the advice while we are in retrograde? So Sherry writes the star, 2C, awakening, 10 of earth, and witch hazel. All right. So and Barbara writes, I am seeing a new journey. It has great promises, and take lessons from past distractors. Keep your enemies close and know them, and they will not affect you. That's really awesome. The fox. I'm going to be reading this and rereading this when the video is done and everything. Shireen, I think the cards are saying that there's a new beginning coming, and there will be some happy news within the new beginning. For the lady and the fox, I would say be careful with somebody trying to be sly with you. And I'm agreeing. That's pretty similar to my take on that. You know, hey Victoria, it's good to see you, honey. So that makes an awful lot of sense. Now, come on, we have other readers out there. I'd love to see what you guys have pulled, but this is very telling. And you know what? I'm going to take a picture of this when this is done, and I'll be posting it in the Tarot and Divination forum. So we're getting kind of close. Yeah. What I'm asking everybody to do is, for homework, let me see those readings for the following week. Alrighty. We discussed an awful lot here today, and it's great. So keep those ideas about an online class coming. We can use Skype. We can use FaceTime. And as Maria mentioned, we can use Zoom. And I got to see what the limitations of those online classes would be as to how many people that I can teach at any one time. Alrighty. So I'll be working with that. Thanks, Christine. You're making me feel so good, my ego. I'm not going to be able to walk out of this store today. So changes are going to be coming. I'm looking at this. I'm going to keep my eyes open. This is telling me good news is coming. So I think I'm on the right track here. But I have to be careful with where that good information is going. You know what I mean? And I guess in a way it's almost like be humble about things. You know, you get something really, really good. You don't want to brag about what it is you got. And you kind of have to keep it on the down low. Awesome. Thank you, Sherry. You're such a sweetheart. Again, there goes my ego. Alrighty. And keep the information coming. Please, please, please. It would really help me out a lot as to what you think compromises or a good class would consist of when it comes to tarot. And be honest, okay? And what you think would suck about a class. Or if you've taken classes that didn't work for you, I'd like to know why. Alrighty? Because I need to learn from that so that I can come up with something that would work. So obviously we're talking about video in combination with downloads as homework materials, alrighty, and then more, alrighty. So I'll be working on this in the times to come. If we able to get this off the ground, I'm thinking around January, and the reason why I think that is the holiday season is finished, and it's a time to slow down, and you can concentrate on something like that. So tell me even if you think that's a good idea. Alrighty, and we'll take it from there. Love you too, Barbara. 11, watching such a powerful number. Yeah, it really is. So, self-promotion. Alrighty, so if you would, please join our Breed's Closet Tarot and Divination Forum. We're almost at 1,000 members here. So I'm really, really excited about that. Alrighty. And if you have people that you know would benefit from this from the classes and from all of this going on here with the show. Please invite them. I have to approve everybody that comes on. But it's really taking off, and I'm really, really happy about that. So again, it couldn't happen without all of you, and I really appreciate all of the feedback that I'm getting from people, both in the divination forum, on my personal and private, Facebook pages, and the private messaging that I'm getting. Now, I can't get to everybody real time, okay? Because I seriously get hundreds of messages a day. So if I don't get to you right away, please kind of understand where I'm coming from, and still try to run the store while keeping my online presence. You know what? You get where I'm coming from. Life gets in the way, so if I don't get to you right away, please understand that it's not a personal thing. I will eventually get to every message that everybody. Much love to you, Julie. And feel free to share this video on your pages all around, because the more people we get on here, the better it is, because I get this interactive energy going on, and it really propels the show on. So next week we are going to be unveiling a new deck. All right, let's see if you can do this. So the old style Lenormand. All right, that's all you're going to see of it right now. I'm not going to go into it anymore. So it's a new Lenormand deck that will be going over, and hopefully you like it. Much love to you, and you also have a good night, Christina. It's just great to see so many people here. So everybody, much love to everybody. I hope the reading was good for you. I'd still love to see more of those readings go up, and if you can, post them in the Tarot and Divination forum so that we can all analyze the reading and get feedback from everybody. So, oh man, do I look tired today. Didn't put on any makeup at all. Should have all told me what I look like, okay? Now, I'm being goofy. So, much love to everybody. You all rock. It wouldn't happen without you. Thank you for the feedback. That marketing stuff, Facebook charges a lot of money from, and I get all that love from you. So, you too, Chris. Oh, Tessa, we're at the end of the show. Not supposed to be doing that. So feel free to post the video on your pages. Hopefully it helps everybody too with their tarot businesses. And if you are a client of the tarot or divination, I hope this helps you. There are some fine readers, really fine readers right here in this forum. So if you're looking for somebody, look for them in the Tarot and Divination forum. We have a file there where lots of people mention what they do, how they do it, and when they do it. If not, you can always come to me and I'll give a recommendation if it is at all possible and I have that one-on-one with them, I can recommend that. So the idea is that we all share and exchange that information with one another. Alrighty? So be well, be good, be great. Hope this Mercury retrograde is a good one, because it can be if you utilize those energies correctly. I'm sending a lot of love out to everybody. Next week is going to be the Thanksgiving edition, isn't it? I'm going to figure out something for next week. Much love, everybody. You all rock. Bye-bye.